Our first step really is to gain recognition as a sport, and you could obviously debate and argue and laugh as to whether or not foosball is a sport, but by definition there are a series of criteria in Australia you need to achieve, and the last one we have left is to have 5,000 registered members, which we don't have. So it's really only in its infancy in Australia as a competitive sport.
Can you tell me about Foosball Victoria and the Melbourne scene?
Foosball Victoria is the governing body for Foosball in Victoria. We promote, develop the sport here and really try to work closely with the various clubs around Melbourne to try and get as many people to the events as possible. In terms of registered players and in terms of ranked players, there are probably only about a couple of hundred players who are officially ranked who've participated in official tournaments, so it's quite low. You do have a broader scene, you know, the pub scene of foosball, where you have a lot of friendly games organised which aren't sanctioned by us and therefore don't contribute to the ranks, but we can only claim about 200 players.
What do you like about foosball? How do you think it resonates with people?
I think it's extremely accessible. There's no differentiation between gender or age or anything as such. Maybe the younger kids would argue they have better reflexes. As far as I'm concerned, my dad was a migrant from Italy and he brought home a foosball table when I was about 8 years old, and we connected really well over that, and I played a lot of foosball with him and have a lot of fond memories there.
Can you tell us a little bit about the difference between foosball and speedball?
So speedball is the Italian style, and with speedball it's very fast, you can't really pass it along the same rod. There are all these rules, you can't trap the ball, you can't stop the ball, so when you get an event with the die-hard Italians coming up with the more international players, there's a lot of arguments there and debate as to which game's the better game. There are about 300 variations of foosball in the world, if you can imagine, so it sounds quite funny, but internationally they've come up with a set of rules that tries to encompass the best of everything that governs all the international competitions. They've recently recognised speedball as a variant of the game, so internationally that's still recognised, and we'll be holding the first speedball comp here in Australia.
2 years ago you went to Nantes in France for an international competition.
The goal there from Foosball Australia, I should say, was to not come last, and we came second last, so that was very exciting for us.
Can you tell us a little bit about the international scene and how Australia compares?
Oh, they don't. You've got countries in Europe that have part of the Olympic budget for foosball, some that have part of their school curriculum. Belgium, I believe, has 30,000 registered members, so as far as Australia is concerned, we're only just trying to get off the ground now.
You guys have nationals coming up in November. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So that's where we'll be holding this one at the showgrounds, so that's very exciting because we'll have a lot of exposure from other different participants who are going to that event. This will crown the Australian champion as well as the state champion, and for the first time we've got speedball involved.
And how does the Victorian scene compare nationally? So
the Victorians are the best in terms of number of players who attend, number of players who are ranked highly, and in terms of number of clubs and length of clubs in terms of how long they've been going for.
Could you just let us know what your future plans are for Foosball Victoria?
So we hope to obviously contribute to numbers, continue to run events. We own a few tables, so we like to house those tables at different venues. And the goal there is to set up more clubs, set up more events, so the primary focus really is to grow numbers.